Tramp shipping. We all know tramp trade deals with the bulk carriers which carry cargoes of homogeneous variety in large quantities from either one port to another or between a few ports. In this lesson, we will study types of tramp chartering and charter party and its main clauses. After going through this presentation, you should be able to discuss types of tramp chartering, explain the main voyage charter party clauses, and describe the main time charter party clauses. Tramp owners are always looking for ports where profitable cargo is likely to be found, while charterers are looking for tramps which are available for hiring and at competitive rates. Freight hire charge in tramp trade is generally decided by the laws of supply and demand of tonnage or cargoes, and various other technical and commercial costs. A tramp may be chartered in a number of ways. Three most important forms of engagement are voyage charter, time charter, and bareboat charter or charter by demise. Under the voyage charter engagement, a ship is engaged for either a single voyage or for consecutive or round voyages for shipment of any agreed quantity of cargo. The ship owners undertake to provide the vessel to the charterers for carriage of agreed cargo from one or two agreed ports to be discharged at the named port or ports within a certain range at rates and conditions mutually agreed in advance. Under the time charter engagement, a ship is hired for a fixed period of time for operation within the defined territories or between safe ports. Although the ship is operated at the command of charterers, it cannot be taken outside the agreed territories or agreed ports. Protect the interest of the ship owners. The entire capacity of the ship is hired and ship owners receive charter hire for the time duration for which it has been hired. Under bareboat charter arrangement, the ship owners let out the bare ship for a period of time. The difference between the time charter and bareboat charter lies in the fact that in the latter case the ship in the bare form lies at the disposal of the charterers, who have the full right and responsibility of operating the ship. The main voyage charter party clauses are: description of the vessel includes the name of the vessel, its cargo carrying capacity, its cargo handling gear, and other properties including layout of cargo holds, their number and capacity, etc. Description of ports and places. The charter party mentions the ports of loading and discharging, and the ship owner is obliged to send the vessel to these ports. Charter party clearly indicates the date by which the vessel is to report for loading so that the charterer may take timely arrangements for bringing the cargo. Charter party state the nature and quantity of cargo to be carried. NOR means notice to the charterer, shipper, receiver, or any other person as required under the charter party about the arrival of the vessel at the agreed port berth and its readiness to load discharge. After the expiry of NOR, lay time is to start. It is the time period agreed between shipowner and charterer, during whom the vessel is available for loading or dispatching without extra payment by the charterer. Freight and other expenses. The arrangement regarding freight could be either on a lump basis or based on actual quantities loaded within the agreed maxima or minima. As per usual practice, charter party incorporates clauses limiting the ship owner's liability, and the issuance of bill of lading is made subject to law incorporating The Hague or similar rules. Arbitration is the charter party also provides for arbitration in case of differences and disputes between the parties. Time charters for dry bulk are fixed mainly on the New York Produce Exchange Time Charter, the ball time or liner time documents. Tankers are generally fixed on forms evolved by major oil companies. The main clauses for time charter are description of vessel, besides providing general description including the name of the vessel. Charter party incorporates specific information. Description of trade. Charter party mentions either specific ports or range of ports within specifically that of the vessel and the weather conditions which the vessel is to be operated in. Similarly, it must describe the cargo to be carried. Description of period. Charter party provides for the time period for which the vessel has been chartered. Delivery and redelivery surveys. Surveys are required to be made to establish the conditions of the vessel and holds or tanks as well as quantity of bunkers or fuel oil on board. Liability of charterers and ship owners. Ship owners are liable to charterers for failure to properly and carefully carry, keep and care for the cargo, as well as for lack of reasonable care in providing the seaworthy vessel. Now let us check if we have understood the various concepts discussed in this lesson clearly. Under voyage charter, a ship is engaged only for a single voyage. Right or wrong? Wrong. Under time charter, ship can be taken to any port. Right or wrong? Wrong. NOR means notice to the charterer. Right or wrong? Right. Before we end, let us briefly revise what we have studied till so far. Tramp trade deals with bulk carriers which carry cargoes of homogeneous variety in large quantities from either one port to another or between few ports. Tramp can be chartered in a number of ways, most important being on voyage, time, and demise basis. Time charter engagement is for a fixed time period for ship operation within safe ports or territories. The entire capacity of the ship is hired and the ship owners receive charter hire for duration of the contract. Bareboat or demise charter means that the ship owner lets out the bare ship, which will be at the disposal of the charterer, who has the full right and responsibility of operating the ship. Charter party is a contract of carriage of goods, and it contains all the relevant terms and conditions. The liability of ship owner is absolute, though in practice it is limited through specific agreement. Unless otherwise stipulated in the charter party, claimable loss is the actual loss as well as the consequential loss. Generally, liability is restricted to a notional amount under the clause paramount.